Put name in freezer for 24 hours. Then see the what happens. Buddhist teachings. Have you ever wondered how a simple act could transform your mindset and life? Imagine placing a name in the freezer for 24 hours, not just a quirky ritual, but a powerful practice rooted in ancient wisdom. This method isn't just about ice, it's about freezing negative energy, resetting intentions, and creating space for clarity and balance. In today's fast-paced, chaotic world, wouldn't it be incredible to have a tool to regain control and align your energy with your goals? Join us on the journey of wisdom as we uncover the fascinating teachings behind this practice and see what truly happens when you freeze more than just water. 1. Technique. Freeze negativity. The freezing technique provides a unique and symbolic way to intercept negative energy and redirect your focus toward positive outcomes, acting as a barrier against harm while amplifying your intentions. Much like a seed planted in fertile soil, this practice allows your goals and desires to take root and flourish in the flow of universal energy. Rooted in mindfulness, the technique serves as both a spiritual safeguard and a tool for manifestation, making it profoundly practical and accessible to anyone willing to try. By leveraging symbolic elements such as water, which represents emotions and life's flow, and a mason jar as a container for intention, this practice uses simple yet powerful tools to shape the energy surrounding you. The process itself is remarkably straightforward, requiring only items that are likely already in your home. A mason jar acts as a vessel for your focus, water embodies your emotional and spiritual fluidity, and, optionally, blue dye symbolizes tranquility and solutions. A piece of paper allows you to give form to your concerns or aspirations, writing them down as an act of clarity and commitment. Finally, a sealable bag adds a layer of protection, ensuring your intentions remain undisturbed, while the water freezes to symbolize the halting of negativity. This simplicity makes the technique both approachable and meaningful, connecting you to a broader sense of balance and control. As the Buddha once said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." This practice encourages you to channel your thoughts constructively, creating a ripple effect that aligns your outer world with your inner aspirations. In our modern lives, where distractions and negativity often feel overwhelming, such rituals offer a grounding sense of focus. They remind us that even amidst chaos, we have the power to pause, reflect, and redirect our energy toward what truly matters. This method is not about superstition, but about cultivating a mindset of intentionality and mindfulness. Whether you're facing challenges at work, strained relationships, or a general feeling of being stuck, the freezing technique is a reminder that you are not powerless. It's a practical way to embody self-compassion while inviting change. The materials required are symbols of life's simplicity, ordinary yet profound tools that remind us of the connection between the tangible and the intangible. Incorporating this practice into your routine is akin to creating a small ritual of care and focus. It's about taking a moment to slow down and be deliberate about your choices, fostering a sense of calm and control in a fast-paced world. Lao Tzu's timeless wisdom echoes this sentiment. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The freezing technique is one such step, empowering you to break free from the inertia of negativity and align your life with purpose. By dedicating even a small amount of time to this act, you open yourself up to the possibility of clarity, protection, and growth, embracing the ancient Buddhist principle of mindful living while addressing the challenges of today's world. 2. Technical implementation. The freezing technique is a practice deeply rooted in the power of intention, a cornerstone of mindfulness and spiritual growth. To begin, take a moment to clearly define your focus, whether it's a person, a situation, or an obstacle that weighs on your heart. Write the name or the issue on a piece of paper, then turn it 180 degrees and add a simple yet powerful statement like, "God, I give this to you," or "Hi, John the Conqueror, conquer this." This act of surrender is a gesture of trust, showing that you are willing to release control and place your faith in a higher power or the natural flow of the universe. It's not about giving up, but about gaining the courage to let go, making space for transformation. As you perform this act, visualize the outcome you seek with clarity and focus, much like planting a seed in fertile soil. Every word you write carries energy, so allow your thoughts to flow with intention and purpose. The more specific and heartfelt your intention, the stronger the foundation you build for the changes you desire. Think of this as crafting a clear map for the universe to follow, with your energy guiding it toward manifestation. A Buddhist story comes to mind here, the tale of the mustard seed. A grieving mother approached the Buddha, seeking relief from the pain of losing her child. He asked her to find a mustard seed from a household untouched by suffering. As she searched, she realized that pain and struggle are universal, but so is the strength to transcend them. This story reminds us that while challenges are a part of life, surrendering to wisdom and trusting the process allows healing and growth. This practice encourages you to step back and recognize that surrender is not about weakness, but about strength, the strength to trust in something beyond yourself and to channel your energy with precision. By stating your intention and then releasing it, you initiate a process of alignment between your inner desires and the external world. This alignment brings clarity and peace, teaching us a lesson in humility and patience. In modern life, where the desire to control every aspect often overwhelms us, this technique offers a path to simplicity and mindfulness. It teaches that by clearly articulating our needs and letting go of attachment to outcomes, we create space for possibilities we may not have envisioned. As Lao Tzu wisely said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." The lesson here is profound. Release allows transformation. Trust the freezing technique as a tangible reminder of this truth and a step toward manifesting a life guided by clarity, balance, and trust. 3. Transform emotions and manifest clarity. The process of manifestation through the freezing technique is a deeply symbolic and intentional act designed to transform emotional energy into calm resolution and clarity. Imagine holding a piece of paper that carries your intention, perhaps a struggle, a desire, or even a conflict you wish to resolve. Writing it down with focused clarity is the first step. It's your way of naming the energy you're addressing and giving it a place to exist outside of yourself. As you move forward, you're not just performing a ritual, you're engaging in a meaningful process that allows you to pause, reflect, and let go. When it comes to the water, think of it as a powerful conduit for your emotions. Water has long been a symbol of flow, adaptability, and life itself. As you fill the mason jar, visualize the water absorbing the emotional weight of your intention, carrying the energy of your thoughts and feelings into the next phase. If you choose to add blue dye, picture it infusing the water with calmness and healing energy. Blue represents peace, clarity, and solutions, qualities that you are inviting into your life. Even if you don't use dye, imagine a soft blue light surrounding the jar, bringing a sense of serenity and purpose to the process. Let's break this down into simple steps, making it easy for you to follow. Begin by writing your intention on the paper, clearly and concisely, as if you're having a direct conversation with the universe. Then, fill the jar with water, visualizing it as a vessel for your emotional energy. If you're using blue dye, mix it in and watch as it transforms the water into a symbol of calm and resolution. Fold the paper carefully, place it in the jar, and ensure it is fully submerged, allowing your intention to become part of this symbolic process. Next, seal the jar inside a bag to add an extra layer of protection and place it in the back of your freezer. This placement is intentional. It symbolizes setting the situation aside, putting it on hold, and trusting that transformation will take place as the water freezes. As the jar sits undisturbed in your freezer, consider the profound act you've just performed. You've not only acknowledged your intention, but also surrendered it to the flow of the universe. The freezing process itself becomes a metaphor for stopping harmful energy in its tracks, giving it time to cool and shift into something new. As the Buddha once said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This practice is not just about resolving external situations, but about showing yourself the care and mindfulness needed to navigate life's challenges. By following this simple yet profound process, you take an active step toward clarity and peace, allowing space for the solutions and outcomes you seek. This technique is more than just freezing water. It's a way to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the flow of life, teaching you the art of mindful surrender and intentional living. So, what will you freeze today? What do you want to let go of today? Comment below with one word, whether it's stress, doubt, or fear. Let's start releasing together. 4. Freeze your worries. The freezer in this symbolic technique serves as much more than just a physical tool. It embodies stillness, offering a pause in the relentless flow of energy and emotion. When you place the jar in the freezer, you are symbolically freezing the situation that weighs on you, halting its progression and preventing it from causing further harm. This act allows you to detach from the emotional turbulence of the issue, giving you space to reflect, breathe, and gain clarity. The cold temperature itself becomes a metaphor for cooling down heated emotions, reminding us of the Buddhist teaching, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. The freezer in this sense becomes a physical representation of inner peace and balance. By placing your intention-filled jar in the freezer, you are preserving its energy, ensuring that it remains intact and undiluted. The act of tucking it behind other items signifies setting the issue aside, a gentle yet deliberate act of moving forward without allowing the problem to dominate your thoughts. The freezer transforms into a sanctuary, a sacred space where your intention can undergo a quiet transformation, much like the still waters of a serene lake reflecting the clarity of the sky above. This pause and preservation can offer a profound lesson in modern life, where we are often overwhelmed by the need for constant action. Sometimes, stepping back and letting things cool down is the most powerful choice we can make. The final step, releasing the situation, is where the true power of this technique lies. Once you've placed the jar in the freezer, the key is to fully let go and trust in the flow of the universe. Releasing control can be challenging, especially in a world that encourages us to micromanage every aspect of our lives. But it is a liberating act of faith. As the Buddha wisely said, letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. This is your opportunity to practice surrender, detaching from the outcome and allowing the universe to take over the process. When it's time to discard the jar, do so with intention, on garbage day, or at a distant location where you can walk away without looking back. This act signifies closure, a clear and symbolic step forward, leaving behind the emotional weight you've been carrying. In the context of modern life, this practice is a powerful reminder that not every situation requires immediate resolution or control. Sometimes the best way to resolve an issue is to step back, cool down, and trust in the process. By using the freezer as both a practical and symbolic tool, you create a space for peace and transformation, aligning yourself with the wisdom that often comes only through stillness. 5. Let go and transform. Letting go and trusting the universe is one of the hardest yet most transformative acts we can undertake, especially when faced with emotionally charged situations. Often, our instinct is to hold on tightly, to control every detail, hoping to bend circumstances to our will. But in truth, control can sometimes cloud the clarity we need to move forward. The freezing technique teaches us a profound lesson. By releasing our grip and surrendering the outcome to the universe, we create space for transformation and growth. This isn't about abandoning your desires or giving up. It's about aligning your energy with the natural flow of life and trusting in a larger process at work. Every element of this ritual is rich with symbolism, making it both meaningful and impactful. The paper represents the situation or person you're addressing, acting as a tangible placeholder for your focus. Water, a universal symbol of emotion, is the medium through which your feelings flow, capturing the essence of what you're trying to transform. The blue dye or visualized blue light adds a layer of calmness and hope, embodying the solutions you seek. The freezer itself symbolizes stillness and transformation, a pause in the chaos of life that allows you to reset and shift energy. And finally, the bag provides protection, ensuring that your intention remains contained and undisturbed. This ritual is not just about freezing something in time, but about actively transforming the energy surrounding it. Much like the story of the monk who carried a woman across the river and let go of the encounter immediately after, while his companion carried the memory of it for hours, this technique invites us to leave our emotional burdens behind. By understanding the purpose and symbolism behind each step of this practice, you deepen its meaning and effectiveness. The process becomes more than just a series of actions. It becomes an act of trust and alignment with something greater. As the Buddha taught, in the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. This technique embodies that wisdom, teaching us to hold our intentions with care, but not with desperation. So try it with an open heart. Write down your intention, place it in water, and let the stillness of the freezer and the power of trust guide your energy. Let go of your expectations and allow the universe to work its magic. And when you're ready, release it entirely, knowing that transformation has already begun. This simple yet profound act is more than a ritual. It's a reminder that letting go can bring peace, and that trust can create pathways to solutions you never thought possible. Transforming negative emotions. As the Buddha wisely said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. But how do we truly find that peace when negative emotions overwhelm us? Next, we dive deep into the art of transforming negative emotions. At its core, suffering is not an unchangeable reality, but a state of mind shaped by our perceptions. With the right understanding and tools, you can shift your perspective, free yourself from the grip of negativity, and uncover profound liberation. Let's explore how to turn emotional pain into a path toward clarity and inner peace. 1. Emotions and negative emotions. Emotions are an integral part of human life, shaping our thoughts, words, and actions in profound ways. They are the essence of what it means to be human, separating us from machines or lifeless objects. Psychologists define emotions as intense, affective states that occur suddenly, last for a short time, and disrupt psychological and physiological functioning. While emotions add vitality and depth to life, they can also lead to turmoil when not properly understood or managed. Positive emotions inspire joy, connection, and growth, while negative emotions, though equally important, often challenge us and disrupt our inner balance. As the Buddha said, "You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." Understanding and working with our emotions is the key to mastering this art. Negative emotions, in particular, are powerful reactions to unmet needs or adverse circumstances. They manifest as anger, sadness, and anxiety, each with its unique triggers and effects. Anger, for instance, is an instinctive response to perceived threats, whether to our self-image, possessions, or dignity. It often shows up physically through rapid heartbeats and muscle tension, cognitively as negative thoughts about others, and behaviorally as yelling or destructive acts. On the other hand, sadness, often linked to loss or hopelessness, leaves us feeling emotionally vulnerable, with crying being a natural outlet for this pain. Anxiety, meanwhile, arises from unclear threats, manifesting as worry, restlessness, and avoidance. While it often fades once the issue is resolved, chronic anxiety can become deeply embedded if left unchecked. These emotions are not inherently bad. They serve as signals from our inner world, urging us to pay attention. However, when left unmanaged, they can disrupt our mental and physical well-being. The causes of negative emotions are multifaceted, stemming from both external and internal factors. External causes include environmental challenges such as noise, overcrowding, or lack of privacy. These stressors can overwhelm our capacity to cope, especially when compounded by social issues like unemployment, strained relationships, or poverty. Family dynamics and workplace challenges also play significant roles, as societal pressures and expectations can intensify feelings of inadequacy or stress. For instance, in a fast-paced world where success is often measured by material wealth or status, even minor setbacks can feel like monumental failures, leading to frustration and despair. On the other hand, internal causes are rooted in our inner thoughts and unresolved conflicts. Past failures, unfulfilled needs, and low self-esteem create fertile ground for negative emotions to thrive. A lack of direction or unresolved trauma further compounds this, leaving individuals feeling stuck and overwhelmed. Addressing these negative emotions requires a deep understanding of their origins and an intentional effort to transform them. Buddhism offers profound insights into this process, emphasizing awareness, mindfulness, and compassion as tools for emotional transformation. By recognizing that negative emotions are fleeting states of mind, we can learn to observe them without being consumed. The Buddha taught, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." This wisdom reminds us to stay grounded in the present, where emotions lose much of their power when met with calm observation. For example, practicing mindfulness can help you notice anger arising without reacting impulsively, allowing space for thoughtful responses rather than destructive actions. Furthermore, understanding the dual nature of external and internal causes can help us develop effective strategies to manage these emotions. For external causes, creating a supportive environment is crucial. This might mean setting boundaries to limit exposure to toxic influences or seeking a harmonious work-life balance. Internally, the work involves self-reflection and cultivating a positive inner dialogue. Journaling, meditation, or speaking with a trusted mentor or therapist can help identify unresolved issues and develop healthier coping mechanisms. As Thich Nhat Hanh wisely said, "When you learn how to suffer, you suffer much less." This approach doesn't deny suffering, but transforms it into an opportunity for growth. Negative emotions are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to define us. By understanding their origins and effects, we can take proactive steps to transform them into powerful tools for self-awareness and growth. Whether it's anger that fuels necessary change, sadness that teaches compassion, or anxiety that pushes us to prepare, every emotion has a role to play in our journey toward balance and peace. In today's fast-paced world, where the pressure to succeed often overshadows our emotional well-being, these lessons are more relevant than ever. So, ask yourself, how can you shift your perspective on negative emotions? What steps can you take to transform them into allies rather than adversaries? Embracing this process, we not only achieve emotional resilience, but also align ourselves with the Buddhist path of mindful living, creating a life of harmony and inner peace. 2. Negative emotions in Buddhism. Emotions are an integral part of human life, shaping our thoughts, words, and actions in profound ways. They are the essence of what it means to be human, separating us from machines or lifeless objects. Psychologists define emotions as intense affective states that occur suddenly, last for a short time, and disrupt psychological and physiological functioning. While emotions add vitality and depth to life, they can also lead to turmoil when not properly understood or managed. Positive emotions inspire joy, connection, and growth, while negative emotions, though equally important, often challenge us and disrupt our inner balance. As the Buddha said, "You cannot stop the waves, but you can learn to surf." Understanding and working with our emotions is the key to mastering this art. Negative emotions, in particular, are powerful reactions to unmet needs or adverse circumstances. They manifest as anger, sadness, and anxiety, each with its unique triggers and effects. Anger, for instance, is an instinctive response to perceived threats, whether to our self-image, possessions, or dignity. It often shows up physically through rapid heartbeats and muscle tension, cognitively as negative thoughts about others, and behaviorally as yelling or destructive acts. On the other hand, sadness, often linked to loss or hopelessness, leaves us feeling emotionally vulnerable, with crying being a natural outlet for this pain. Anxiety, meanwhile, arises from unclear threats, manifesting as worry, restlessness, and avoidance. While it often fades once the issue is resolved, chronic anxiety can become deeply embedded if left unchecked. These emotions are not inherently bad. They serve as signals from our inner world, urging us to pay attention. However, when left unmanaged, they can disrupt our mental and physical well-being. The causes of negative emotions are multifaceted, stemming from both external and internal factors. External causes include environmental challenges, such as noise, overcrowding, or lack of privacy. These stressors can overwhelm our capacity to cope, especially when compounded by social issues like unemployment, strained relationships, or poverty. Family dynamics and workplace challenges also play significant roles, as societal pressures and expectations can intensify feelings of inadequacy or stress. In a fast-paced world where success is often measured by material wealth or status, even minor setbacks can feel like monumental failures, leading to frustration and despair. On the other hand, internal causes are rooted in our inner thoughts and unresolved conflicts. Past failures, unfulfilled needs, and low self-esteem create fertile ground for negative emotions to thrive. A lack of direction or unresolved trauma further compounds this, leaving individuals feeling stuck and overwhelmed. Addressing these negative emotions requires a deep understanding of their origins and an intentional effort to transform them. Buddhism offers profound insights into this process, emphasizing awareness, mindfulness, and compassion as tools for emotional transformation. By recognizing that negative emotions are fleeting states of mind, we can learn to observe them without being consumed. The Buddha taught, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment." This wisdom reminds us to stay grounded in the present, where emotions lose much of their power when met with calm observation. For example, practicing mindfulness can help you notice anger arising without reacting impulsively, allowing space for thoughtful responses rather than destructive actions. Furthermore, understanding the dual nature of external and internal causes can help us develop effective strategies to manage these emotions. For external causes, creating a supportive environment is crucial. This might mean setting boundaries to limit exposure to toxic influences or seeking a harmonious work-life balance. Internally, the work involves self-reflection and cultivating a positive inner dialogue. Journaling, meditation, or speaking with a trusted mentor or therapist can help identify unresolved issues and develop healthier coping mechanisms. As Thich Nhat Hanh wisely said, "When you learn how to suffer, you suffer much less." This approach doesn't deny suffering but transforms it into an opportunity for growth. Negative emotions are an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to define us. By understanding their origins and effects, we can take proactive steps to transform them into powerful tools for self-awareness and growth. Whether it's anger that fuels necessary change, sadness that teaches compassion, or anxiety that pushes us to prepare, every emotion has a role to play in our journey toward balance and peace. In today's fast-paced world, where the pressure to succeed often overshadows our emotional well-being, these lessons are more relevant than ever. Embracing this process, we not only achieve emotional resilience, but also align ourselves with the Buddhist path of mindful living, creating a life of harmony and inner peace. What emotions do you often struggle with, and how do you usually handle them? Share in the comments below. Just a few words like anger, sadness, or anxiety is perfect. Let's reflect together. 3. The process of transforming negative emotions. The process of transforming negative emotions is a journey that begins with self-awareness and ends with profound inner peace. To transform negative emotions, we must first acknowledge their presence and understand how they manifest. This is the foundation of emotional growth. In Buddhism, the recognition of suffering is central to the Four Noble Truths. When you notice anger bubbling up as an external reaction, perhaps through a sharp word or an impulsive act, it may provide a momentary release but can harm relationships and deepen the cycle of negativity. Conversely, when emotions like guilt or sadness turn inward, they often manifest as self-criticism, despair, or a heavy emotional weight that can sap your energy. Understanding the causes of these emotions is the next crucial step. In Buddhism, the roots of suffering are often traced back to ignorance and craving. Ignorance blinds us to the true nature of reality, causing us to cling to illusions or pursue fleeting pleasures. Craving, on the other hand, drives us to chase after things we think will make us happy, often leading to frustration when those desires are unmet. These twin forces create a cycle of attachment and aversion, fueling anger, fear, and delusion. How often have you found yourself frustrated over a situation that, in hindsight, wasn't as critical as it felt at the moment? The Buddhist path teaches us to face these tendencies directly through practices like meditation, mindfulness, and ethical living, dissolving harmful patterns and fostering clarity. To truly transform emotions, we must also shift our perception. Perception shapes reality, and the way we interpret events often determines our emotional response. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not an unchangeable fact of existence, but a transient mental state influenced by our thoughts and beliefs. When we cling to desires rooted in ignorance, believing we must have a certain job, relationship, or status to be happy, we only deepen our suffering. True liberation lies in seeing beyond these illusions, understanding that emotions, like waves in the ocean, rise and fall naturally. Correcting our perception allows us to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. The Buddha said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." By changing your thoughts, how might you transform your experience of suffering into an opportunity for peace? One of the most liberating steps in this process is learning to let go. Letting go does not mean indifference or avoiding responsibility. It means releasing the attachments that bind us to suffering. Whether it's a memory, a belief, or a relationship, clinging to impermanent things inevitably leads to pain. Letting go allows us to accept life as it is, not as we wish it to be. Through mindfulness and the Noble Eightfold Path, we cultivate the awareness to recognize and release these attachments, creating space for healing and peace. Consider this. What might you need to let go of today to find a sense of ease? Perhaps it's a grudge, a fear, or an unrealistic expectation. Letting go doesn't solve every problem, but it frees us from the unnecessary burdens we often carry. The ultimate goal of transforming emotions is to cultivate emotional wisdom. Emotional wisdom goes beyond simply managing feelings. It's about understanding their impermanence and using them as tools for connection and growth. The Buddha often described emotions as fleeting, like clouds drifting across the sky. When we recognize this impermanence, we can avoid being overwhelmed by negative emotions and instead respond with balance and clarity. Emotional wisdom also involves compassion, both for ourselves and for others. When we approach our emotions with kindness and curiosity rather than judgment, we create space for healing. Treating your anger or sadness not as enemies to fight, but as visitors with lessons to teach. How might this shift in perspective deepen your understanding of yourself and those around you? In modern life, where stress and distractions are constant, these teachings are more relevant than ever. The demands of work, family, and society often leave little room for reflection, making it easy for negative emotions to spiral out of control. Yet by practicing awareness, understanding, and mindfulness, we can create a buffer against these pressures. Meditation, for instance, is not just a spiritual practice, but a practical tool for observing thoughts and emotions without being consumed by them. Journaling can also be a powerful way to process feelings and gain clarity on their causes. By taking small but intentional steps, such as pausing to breathe deeply during moments of stress, you can begin to reframe challenges and approach them with greater resilience. The process of transforming negative emotions is not about eradicating them, but about understanding and integrating them into a balanced life. Negative emotions are not inherently bad. They are signals, pointing us toward areas that need attention or growth. Anger can highlight boundaries that need to be set. Sadness can deepen our compassion, and anxiety can motivate preparation and foresight. The key is to respond to these emotions mindfully rather than reactively. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Feelings come and go like clouds in a windy sky. Conscious breathing is my anchor." By anchoring ourselves in the present moment, we can navigate the storms of emotion with grace and clarity. So, as you move through your day, consider this. How can you bring greater awareness to your emotions? What steps can you take to understand their causes and shift your perspective? By embracing these practices, you not only transform your emotions, but also your entire approach to life. Through mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, you can turn emotional challenges into opportunities for growth, creating a life of balance, peace, and fulfillment. This journey is not about perfection, but progress, and each step you take brings you closer to the harmony you seek. Recognizing and addressing our emotional challenges is the first step toward true healing and personal growth. Buddhist teachings offer profound wisdom to help us transform negative emotions, build moral resilience, and find balance in our lives. Imagine a world where these teachings were embraced. So many of today's social and emotional struggles could find resolution. By practicing mindfulness, meditation, and ethical living, we can achieve emotional well-being and live with greater peace and purpose. If you found value in this video, please give it a like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom for more insights on living a mindful and balanced life. What challenges have you faced when dealing with negative emotions? How have you worked to overcome them? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you.